For the glory days of Minas Tirith, this was what stood in the mountain. Without the great white walls and the men to defend it, Gondor will be hard pressed to keep this settlement. Hey, how's it going, guys, and welcome back to another custom map battle. Today we are on the early days of Minas Tirith, which is kind of like Minas Tirith before it became this amazing fortress. So you're only going to be able to see kind of this like one outer wall that is currently situated throughout the city, and the rest of it is just basically the beginning of the carving work throughout the mountain. So you can see at the top kind of the next couple layers that it's just kind of basically been carved out in the mountain, and there's a handful of houses scattered around. This is the only Minas Tirith that we do have for Total War Attila. Hopefully, as the mod gets more and more developed, as Rise of Mordor kind of adds in more units and factions, hopefully one of the modders will attempt to make a glorious Minas Tirith with all its layers, with huge streets and courtyards and stuff. Oh, it'd be absolutely amazing. I imagine the scale would be kind of crazy, but I'm sure the amazing map modders from Rise of Mordor would be able to nail it. It would be absolutely awesome. So yeah, this is also going to be a very exciting battle, because this is the first time I've done a Rise of Mordor Attila battle with Mordor in it, because we didn't have Mordor back in the day when I last took a look at this. So we actually do have the Mordor Uruks marching forward in their ranks. And we also, for the first time, have a proper Rohan faction as well. Now, Rohan is very much in its early stages of development, so we only have, I think, 4 units in total. But still, the Riders of the Riddermark are going to turn up to this battle and try and break the ranks of Mordor on Pelennor Fields, which is, yeah, pretty goddamn awesome. So I'm excited to see what they can do. I mean, that, oh my god, that looks so good. Look at that, man. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, in this battle, it should be very, very exciting. We're going to have a big old engagement, both sides committing a lot of men to this fight. The walls are going to be bombarded to ever-living crap, I imagine, before the siege towers do get pushed up, and for the most part they are pretty formed up, ready to go. So man wise, we do have 7,000 defenders. That's including the Riders of Rohan, who are situated over on the right hand side, and we have 9,000 orcs and Easterlings, as the Easterlings are here as well. I think they're on this left hand side. Yeah, no, these are actually Vassal Haradrim swordsmen. So where are the Easterlings at? In the center? No, these are more Uruks right now. So I guess that only leaves us with the right flank. Yeah, here we go. We got some Easterling infantry right here with their heavy maces, ready to push in. And I guess these guys are preemptively forming up to tackle the Rohirrim. I imagine the Eastlings are probably a bit more well equipped to repel them, because they're a bit more heavily armored than the Uruks were maybe at Pelennor Fields. But for now, the city is just being bombarded. The first ladder has actually made it up to the walls, which is kind of funny. Oh yeah, we also have the trebuchets as well shooting. Not really in the best position, but they can still shoot. Man, it'd be so epic if like a modder really takes on. But I just think it would be like really hard. If a modder does take on a proper Minas Tirith, it'd be very hard to get that balance between gameplay and what you can do in Total War Attila, and also just making a freaking epic map, you know? I'm sure they'd be able to nail it, but like you can't really just have like, I like what the modder's done in this map, because the streets are a little bit more open than what they are in like other maps I've seen on this when people try to take it out. Like normally the maps, the streets are a lot thinner, so you can only fit like a little unit through them, which kind of does hurt the gameplay quite a bit. But I'm sure models will be able to come up with an interesting way. I'd also love to see this courtyard as well, if I could give my opinion. This courtyard, or at least the outer layer, like a little bit further out as well. I feel like the courtyards would be a lot bigger, so it'd be great to see that in a new map. But there we go, the full-on assault is occurring. I mean, look at that. All the siege towers are looking to overrun the White City. Also, this is without the architecture as well, so there is actually Gondorian buildings and architecture, so it'd be great to see a full-on remake, or even just an early days remake as well, because I believe this map is that old, that it was made before the stuff, or before the modder even maybe got his hands on the architecture to make stuff, because now they just make some really awesome stuff. But as you can see, all these siege towers are going up, and I think they're just going to look to completely overrun the inner layer with just assaults, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be defending the walls whatsoever. There's some archers at the gatehouse, but besides that, it seems like the Gondorians are going to be giving up the walls, which is an interesting decision because that does leave your men very, very vulnerable to archer fire. If the attackers can get archers up on these walls, they'll be able to completely dominate this courtyard. We do have some more infantry back here as well. We'll have to see how the Gondorian bowmen do handle this as we go forward. But yeah, definitely, we can definitely do like a proper battle. If a proper map is made, there can be a really awesome scenario engagement going on where we really do have just a whole load of men on the field. Because I think we can get like around about 25,000 soldiers on the battlefield pretty easily. I mean, what we have like almost 20,000 at this battlefield. I think we're just like at 17,000 or something. So I think we can get upwards of like 30,000 soldiers. So you can definitely feel like, it's obviously not the same scale as Minas Tirith was in the books. Unfortunately, we can't recreate that. But you can definitely get, a very large scale battle. And you can see right now the Vanguard Rohan soldiers who somehow made it inside the city beforehand. They're actually putting up a pretty good fight right now. They're managing to repel, but I mean, they are just mainly fighting these Orc rabble. These Orc rabble are not very good. They're mainly just here for this sole purpose of just like opening up breaches, tiring out the enemy soldiers, and wounding them. But you get a good look at seeing what the men of Rohan can do. These, I believe, are just one of the lower level units of Rohan, but you still get a good idea of kind of what they're capable of, and now we're getting more Haradrim moved forward into this fight. There's also a lot of arrow fire right now as well. The Uruk bowmen, who again, oh, that looks great. Look at that, man. That looks awesome. Look at the city, man. The city is, going to be on fire soon enough as the ranks of Uruk get ready to throw their men forward. And all the siege towers are going to be up. But yeah, there's a lot of arrow fire going in, just basically wounding down these spearmen who are ready to defend the gate. Because defending the gate is going to be very important in this map, because a lot of the other choke points are defended by heavy infantry. So the quicker that they can take that out, the better. And now we are starting to see, oh, okay, so this is what their plan was. They want to defend the walls, but they didn't want to put their men on the walls, which is, again, a very sound strategy, I would say. A very, very sound strategy. And as you can see, off in the distance, the siege towers have made their way to the walls with the support of the ladders as well. I honestly can't wait until they add trolls into this game, because that is something they definitely plan on doing. They have kind of a pre-existing troll mesh. They just need to kind of do animations and stuff for it and figure out how it would work in Attila. Imagine just having the trolls pushing up these siege towers. How epic that would be, man. That would be so goddamn cool. There we go, another siege tower up, and this is going to be a hard fight for the walls for Gondor to hold, because they've got a lot of these militia units up there, and as you can see, the orcs charging off. It's great to finally see orcs as well in this battle, as Mordor has relatively recently been added to the game over the past like 4 months, and they're doing a pretty good job of advancing forward their half-orc axes first. Or these aren't half-orc axes, these are full-out orc axes. And these dudes are going to be able to basically just, break up the formation a lot more efficiently. They're great armor piercing and just a really good aggressive unit. They can do some serious damage. And the rest of the heavily armored Uruks are completely overrunning the walls right now. They are being peppered by missile fire, I would imagine, from over here. Yeah, it's this unit right here, shooting over the walls and hammering. It would be really cool as well if they could get the multiple walls to work so that these archers could sit on these walls and shoot down. At least for like the first 2 or 3 layers, that would be dope. More artillery shots coming off, trying to find their mark. Stay in ranks, maggots. I'm sure that's what the commander is saying. Gondor's sword infantry as well, heavily engaged now. And this is going to be a very, very important job for the Gondor sword infantry, because basically if any of these positions do end up breaking, that is going to be pretty catastrophic for the Gondorians, because I feel like as soon as one breaks, the rest are going to break as well. So they really need to keep their line strong as best as they can, and they're doing that by reinforcing their battle line. We do actually see, though, a formation set up right here, though. More siege towers coming up as they've cleared out the gatehouse, and that's going to allow them to completely dominate this. And as I said, I imagine it's only a matter of time. As that artillery strike hits home and burns the first couple ranks of these bowmen. I think it's only a matter of time until we do get archers up on these walls, and that's going to really clean up the attacking side, just allowing them to really push up, because not only can they do that, they can also hammer away at here. See how many Uruks are just clumped up in this formation right now. They're being thrown in and being smashed by infantry. Same over here as well. There are actually, yeah, there's actually a couple breaches down here they could exploit if they wanted. Oh, they can't get through this, I don't think. Yeah, unfortunately. That sucks. Would we have a unit of axemen here? Okay. Yeah, that's a shame. I guess they could exploit maybe this side to bring some infantry down. Have they done that? No, this is Gondorian infantry being brought over. Okay. And more Rohirrim are being brought up, or men of Rohan are being brought up here to help out. But I think, as you can see, the half-orc axes are making quick work of the militia. And the walls are being stained red with blood as well. More infantry fighting on the walls as the ranks of orcs just wait and bide their time. Are these... Oh, no, okay. I was going to say, if they brought bowmen up on the walls, that might not have been a great idea. There's still a lot of them left, and you can see the armies just being brought in. You know, keep on being, pressure. The walls going down as well. Oh, that's something I would love to see in the if they were to remake this map into like a proper glorious Minas Tirith, is a super strong gate. I mean, the bottom wall should basically be unbreachable, right? It is, like, historically, it's made of like rock that just can't be broken. Correct me if I'm wrong. That is the case, right, though? That the outer layer of Minas Tirith is literally, it just can't be broken. Because it's such strong rock. Because it's made by the Numenorians, or I don't know. I'm sure you guys can educate me. Please do as well. I'll be happy if someone writes a big post about, you know, how Minas Tirith was made and stuff. I'll be happy to pin it. Because I'd be very interested to see how that does go down. And here we go. The first kind of vassal units being brought forward. And it's going to be up to the men of Rohan and the Gondor militia to repel them. It's great to see as well a lot of these lower tier units being brought to these battles to kind of fill out the roster, because they're so cheap. They add numbers to the engagement, and it makes it a bit more exciting than just all these armies of like heavy infantry being brought up. You know, both, like, all the sides are bringing lowly units as best as they can. There's a lot of archer fire coming in over the walls, though. You can see them shots finding home. And this is a nice move by the men of Rohan. They're going to come right in, but maybe this is exactly what the Mordor Uruks want, because I think that's where they're going to come straight through this wall. No, the men of Rohan are going to fall back, which is a pretty smart move, right? They engaged, and now they're falling back. And they don't want to come through. There's a good choke point. How many men of these Gondor militia unit? They've only lost around about 30 men as well, so that's a pretty good exchange to break that unit. But as you can see, the men of Gondor are now breaking on the walls, and it was really only a matter of time until this did happen, especially when you have these elite Easterling units being brought up. These guys are not to be messed with. I can't hover over them, so I can't see what they're called. The Vargi warriors? The heavy axemen of the Easterlings. Yeah, I mean, look at their weapons as well, and their armor. They're definitely not to be messed with. They're going to inflict some crazy damage, and again, they're just going to rip through these Gondor sword militia. Honestly, I'm really surprised that these guys have managed to survive as long as they have. I'm also very surprised that we haven't seen any infantry or any archers been brought on the walls yet. But I guess they haven't really secured them completely. And the Gondor militia is doing a great job with the support of the bowmen as well, who are now being brought up. Some of the Blackroot Vale bowmen are being thrown up. And I imagine these guys are going to help out pretty heavily. There you go, their volleys are going out. It looks so cool, the arrow fire. We're actually hitting something outside of the city as well. I guess they're maybe trying to hit the other Uruk archers right here. I guess it's one of the downsides of putting your archers on the walls. Yes, they can shoot down, but that does also leave them extremely vulnerable. They don't have any cover in front of them whatsoever. So maybe that's one of the deterrents of why they don't want to stick their archers on the wall, is they don't want them to get completely shot at, which definitely does make sense. And there we go, the Axemen have now broken through on this left flank, and I think this outer layer is going to start to crumble, because they can dominate the gate, and then they can relieve the stress on the inner layers right there. That was a brutal charge. And obviously you have infantry as well, so the orcs are pouring through the main gate as well, and they're going to rear charge into these men of Rohan, who are so bravely holding. I mean, how many kills do they have? Only 29. Wow, I would have assumed they would have got more, but they just got a sandwich, and that's not the type of sandwich you want at all. And yeah, they're going to break and die very quickly. And then this is going to allow them to quite quickly come up and, you know, envelop this position right here, which is huge. Because these are, you know, 3 units of very good units. We are having some cavalry moved up, though. Some Knights of the Silver Swan. Oh, and there we go. There we go. The men of Rohan are forming up, and they are ready for action. You can see they're going to charge in for honor and glory. Let the goddamn Rohan song play right now. Oh, this is all I've ever wanted in life. I mean, just look at that. Oh, like, so cool. And they're going to come round from every single side and just try and cause as much mayhem as possible. The cavalry over here is coming in to engage them, though. I imagine they're not going to be able to do that great against these heavy califracs of Easterlings. However, there's only 2 units of them, and I imagine they'll be able to get stuck in. Yeah, you can see the Easterlings right there. I imagine the rest of the cavalry is going to be pushing in on every single side. And yeah, just looking to break the ranks of Mordor, looking to go ahead and just cause, you know, as much damage as possible. Killing this cavalry is very important. As well as that, this is a skirmisher cavalry for Rohan. We don't have the elite cavalry being brought into the game yet, so these javelins are doing a lot of damage. So instead of like a full-on charge, I guess, to break the ranks of Mordor, this is going to be more of a skirmish them down with javelins. Because the heavy cavalry isn't in yet, you know, you only have 4 units of Rohan, 2 of them being melee infantry, I think. Well, Mordor are going to be training a lot of their missiles to them, though. And that's going, yeah, there's a lot of arrow fire. So really, what they need to do is they just need to start coming around, engaging infantry with their horses, and then coming in. Yeah, they've killed artillery right there. There'd be there's a really good rear charge here on this cavalry as well if they wanted it. Looks like they're going to be counter-charged, though, and get kind of the bad deal with that, which is great. Come on, Sword and Center cavalry right here. Perfect! That's exactly what we wanted to see. The archers of the Easterlings are going to get smashed in there by the cavalry. More, please. Send in more. And this is exactly what they want to do, just cause as much mayhem as physically possible in these back ranks. As soon as the infantry turns their back, you want to smash them with cavalry. As soon as the infantry get pinned down, you want to smash the archers. And it's really up to this Rohan cavalry force to yeah, do some serious damage. You can see all the javelins going in as well, causing a lot of issues. You basically just want to cause as much mayhem in these ranks as possible. Unfortunately, though, these are the weaker, you know, these are going to be the tier 1 Rohirrim, so unfortunately they don't have that, like, impact that maybe the higher tier units will have when they get added to the game. But right now they are still doing an admirable job here, trying to kill as many as possible. You know, like right now, as soon as this infantry turns its back, this cavalry unit needs to come in and just smash it, you know. They're doing a very good job, though, and they're also looking to help out at the walls as well by charging in. And that's a good job, you know, focusing down these vassal infantrymen are good, you know. They're not very good, but they're numbers, and you want to get rid of that, and I think that's exactly what this kind of cavalry is used for. This is our scouting cavalry that can throw javelins, skirmish down on the flanks, and then just quickly get out of there. And, you know, is really good at pinning down these lightly armoured units, and that's exactly what they're doing. Breaking infantry who are climbing up on the walls. Speaking of which, yeah, the entire courtyard has been overrun. Some of the cavalry, the Knights of the Silver Swan, though, have engaged on the front lines, looking to take down some heavy Uruks. There's even some artillery up there as well. And archer fire. Wow, everything is popping off right now. That is crazy. And yeah, look at that. The entire orc army is situated right here. That's hilarious. I think for the most part, the Rohirrim are being dealt with somewhat, but they're definitely inflicting a lot of damage. And if they can kill the Haradrim general, that'd be pretty decent as well, as more cavalry come flying in. Because this unit is isolated right now. And that's kind of perfect for the Rohirrim to really take them out. Another perfect charge into the side of these archers. Yeah, they are definitely doing damage, but the question is it enough in this battle? Is it enough? We'll have to wait and find out. More, I mean, there's still a lot of Rohan cavalry left. I mean, granted, there's a lot of infantry here still. But, you know, the Rohirrim have done a great job already in this battle. But Mordor do just have so many men they can continue to commit. I think as well they've made a... Oh no, they are defending the entire way up. Okay, we'll have to see how this one goes, because I feel like this map is gets very choke pointy very quickly after the inner layer is done. Which I really feel like the modders should just maybe add, like, if they were to remake this, just add another entrance up. I know, I think, I was about to say historically and then realistically, and none of them words fit. In Lord of the Rings, I'm pretty sure there's just one route up the entire way. But I feel like maybe you could, I don't know what you do. Maybe just make the streets a lot wider, but then does the map get far too big? Because I feel like you very quickly get just very choke pointy areas. I don't know how you'd go about it. I guess that's why I'm not a map designer. What do you guys think? How do you think you'd make this? Would you just say screw it and make it like it was and just have one route up the entire way? I guess the best way to do it would just have wider, you know, you just have to increase the scale, have quite wide stuff, and yeah, I honestly don't know what you would do. General is dead as well. Holy crap, is that the Haradrim general? Yeah, the Rohirrim have done their work on Pelennor Fields, clearing them out. They're heavy casualties though. Yeah, they have like no horses left now, and I think they're going to fall back and regroup. Reform the line, as Theoden would say. And that's going to, you know, I mean, they've killed the general, so they've done a great job out here. But at what cost, you know? They've basically lost all their horse. And the Haradrim, or sorry, the Easterlings, are still very much healthy. You know, 5 units, or basically 4 units if you merge these two together, of healthy infantry, 3 units of healthy bowmen, and a unit of axes. That's not bad, and I think as we can see, the courtyard has been completely breached now. They can make their way completely inside of the city. Ooh, the artillery though. Ooh, that's some perfect hits with the artillery. I guess this is punishing the orcs for clumping up their men with these rounds coming in. Wow, yeah, that's brutal. And the archer fire coming in. Oh my god. So I guess the Rohirrim have done a good job. They forced the forces of Mordor to clump up. They can't go inside the city, but they can't stay in Pelennor Fields. And that archer fire and artillery fire has been brutal. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one of the most painful things. They can now push out, though, and as you can see, I mean, no, not even that. Wow, I don't know if Mordor, I mean, there's still 30 minutes left of this replay, and they definitely have a good fight, but they're being smashed by the defenders right now. I guess Mordor really needed, like, maybe another player. Maybe this needs to be, like, I feel like if you were to do this, you'd probably make it into, like, a 4v2 or something, maybe, like, a 4v3. Because I think this was a 3 versus 3. And I feel like the defenders maybe just have a better job. But again, like, a better, like, obviously a good setup, and the map is very much a defender-focused map. But again, they do get less money. I think they get 15% less money. Each player does than the attackers. But maybe giving the attackers another player, you know, like another 5,000 men would be pretty big. I love watching the arrow fire coming in. And maybe like a siege escalation or something would be great. More Rohirrim coming in and causing issues on Pelennor Fields. I mean, there's still a handful of horses left remaining. As you can see, Pelennor Fields is looking dangerously bloody right now. But yeah, these Eastlings can be brought inside the city. I'm sure that'll be fine once they do. You got some more archers up here. Wow, the defenders of the walls are still holding. Shout out to these men of Rohan right now. They have held this bravely. I assume the walls were lost a long time ago. They also look like they have a lot of Geralts of Riviere right there. The Witcher is fighting on their side, so I guess what can you really expect? Yeah, they're doing some decent damage, I guess because they're armor piercing. And they have that shield as well. They can actually repel the orcs fairly nicely. As more and more men come up. So this is where it's going to get... Oh my god, look how many archers are here. That's actually kind of crazy. No wonder they're struggling. There are so many archers. This is where you need artillery of your own. Oh no, wait. Correct that. This is where you need a goddamn Nazgul. If you had a Nazgul just flying around, we'd kill all of these archers. Yeah, that would be brutal. I mean, realistically, probably in a Total War game, all these archers would just shoot at the Nazgul and kill it. But here we go, a mass rout, and I think this is why they needed to get their archers up on the walls, or at least some javelin men or something up on the walls, because if they would have done that, they would have melted these defensive units within, like, literally about 20 seconds. The archers and the javelins on the walls would have just slaughtered these defending units. And I think they should have punished the defenders for not putting more men up on these walls. Unfortunately, though, that wasn't the case, and they're kind of paying the price, taking heavy casualties. I mean, how many kills have these Gondor swords got? 430 kills. These swords are on 250 as well. I imagine these spears are on just as many. Only 160, I guess they are spears. But yeah, realistically, all they had to do is get a unit of archers up here and they could have just shot directly down and they would have melted this Gondor spear unit literally within seconds, I think. So it's just unfortunate they didn't take the initiative right there. However, they are making great ground in the courtyard and they should hopefully be able to pour in more infantry very, very quickly. And I think finally this is going to break now that they can bring over a unit of their general unit, the Uruk-Throng. They can bring this unit over, and that should hopefully be able to be strong enough to, yeah, breach the defensive line. Finally, but yeah, I kind of am starting. You know, even though there's 25 minutes left of the replay, I'm kind of starting to find it hard to see how the defenders have the men to break through. But maybe, you know, how the attackers have enough men to break through. But maybe the defenders have committed so much down here that it was a slog, and now they've broken through. It's going to be plain sailing from here, and we'll have to see. Oh god, the lighting just changed as well. A little bit anyway. Maybe Sauron is covering the map in darkness. That's something as well I feel like the modder has to do as well. It'd be so cool. Maybe have like two variants where one lighting is just, it's dark and like a dark haze over it. That'd be very cool. I don't know if that's controlled. Also, look at that Uruk as well with the arrow in his breastplate. And it disappeared. Ooh, another general going down. The Theoden has been slain on the field of battle. No, Theoden. Giving his life for a worthy cause. I feel like if they're going to win, though, he needed to do that. You know, he's done pretty serious damage to all the flanks. Absorbed a lot of the ammunition on these Uruk, on these archers. And now the rest of the men can now move their way in, continue to advance forward. This is now broken as well, which is perfect. And I imagine the Uruks are going to quickly come around and lift up these spearmen. Yeah, as soon as they manage to get some soldiers round the side of the formation. But I mean, look how many casualties they took here, though. This field of battle right here is littered with their men. Absolutely littered with Uruks. And as soon as they manage to get around the side, they could quite easily break it, but yeah, they definitely struggled in that position. So let's jump ahead a little bit just until this assault, because, you know, we're going to see this breaking almost immediately, I imagine, as soon as these guys charge in. So let's jump ahead just a little bit to see them attack the second layer. I mean, it's taking them a long time to break the front layer, honestly. But yeah, we'll kind of skip ahead and wait until they assault this area again. I think they're just going to struggle, though. There's not like a whole ton of infantry left for the defenders, but they outnumber them now as well. I feel like they're going to bravely charge against these formations and be bravely repelled. There's also a lot of arrows as well. Yeah, this is going to be hard for the attackers for sure. Okay, here they go, assaulting the final layer. And honestly, they just do not have much left. Like, they took so many casualties out on Pelennor Fields. I mean, look at it. It is covered in bodies. And I think this, literally, like 2,000-3,000 orcs must have died the right tier. They are pushing up with everything they have, and hopefully it'll be enough to break through, but I just don't see it does. You have like these elite Gondorian sword infantry, or I guess trained, but not quite elite. They're going to be enough to like repel this, and with the arrow support coming in as well, which I imagine volleys and volleys of arrows will be sent forth from the second layer. I'd be very surprised if they even broke through this secondary gate. The attackers definitely needed a lot more men to cause some issues. And you can see them fighting hard. And basically, I mean, at the moment, they're just mainly killing a lot of these weaker units. Like a lot of the kind of half-health infantry that was already sent up is now being committed. I imagine now they're going to be pushed up. But again, you have all of these archers. Just, oh, actually, only a handful of them are shooting. But for the most part, you know, there's still a lot of arrows coming in from all of these guys. Especially this unit right here, who is having a field day on 240 kills. This unit of archers on almost 350 kills. This unit of archers on 110. Like, there's just so many arrows coming in, but they just really don't stand a chance. And the other Gondorians are even starting to charge out of the defensive formation. And this lone Uruk Axeman as well, being supported by friendly units. I don't even know what he's up to. He's just catching a breather, you know. Slaying the men of good, you know, is tiring work. Doesn't seem like he wants to be engaged upon either. But yeah, you know you've probably lost the siege battle when the defenders are charging out against you. There's just so much arrow fire coming in that I think all hope is lost. How many men do we have left? So 2,000 men left for the defenders, or for the attackers. Wow, that's brutal. And 3,500 for the defenders. So I think this is definitely going to be a good victory for them. But make sure to stick around. Don't just turn off now that we kind of know the result. Let's see how decisive this battle is. Also, guys, if you want to see more Rise of Mordor battles like this, go ahead and drop a like down below. If this video gets 300 likes, I'll do another Rise of Mordor video in maybe tomorrow or the day after. So if you want to keep on seeing these cool custom map scenario battles, then just go drop a like down below. And I'll be sure to do more of them, you know. And also I want to give a massive shout out as well to all the players who played in this battle. I really appreciate it, and yeah, keep these replays coming. I've still got a bunch more waiting to be done, so I really appreciate it, guys. I really, really do. And I'm glad that you guys, yeah, keep on sending these battle replays. Finally, we have the Uruk archers up here. This is what needed to happen so long ago. And now these Uruk archers are up here. They can now start firing in. I feel like it's a little bit too late, but even still. And I guess the nice thing as well, which would have been by putting your archers up here, is that I don't think that these archers can range in on you. So you'd only have had to have dealt with the archers like over here, which was only a couple units. So I think realistically they could have done some crazy damage by putting their archers on the walls. And yeah, really start to push down and break up the defenses. The defenders are actually falling back now, realizing that they maybe went a little bit too ham. They are going to be falling back now under heavy missile fire. I mean, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're falling back because yeah, I doubt these archers are probably in range over here. So they're probably falling back because of that. But they're falling back in shield wall right now. I think now they've been taken out of shield wall. I think they're falling back in shield wall though, so it just means they're very slow. And that's going to allow the attackers to pursue them and do a fair amount of damage to them as they fall back. Yeah, you can see multiple of them being brought down. They just need to get behind this Gondorian spear wall. As once again they get ready to repel another assault coming in. We also have some Uruk pikes as well. I love the, I know I say this every single time, but I love the variation in the Uruk pikes. Just looks so cool when they're all stuck down like that. And they're going to push forward and start just picking away at these spearmen. Obviously being able to attack and not receive an attack is pretty good. But that volley was brutal. They are going to be receiving a lot of archer fire. I mean, to be fair though, they've kind of almost weathered the storm in a sense. Yeah, they've literally almost weathered the storm because there's only a handful of archers with arrows left. But I just don't see them breaking through. Like, they have 2 units of Fountain Guard back here. I just don't see them ever breaking through that. But maybe, you know, maybe I will be proved wrong. Maybe the weight of numbers is going to prove, you know, huge. And then obviously, if they can break through, they only really have to deal with a lot of archers. You know, there's not that much infantry left back here. 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's all this as well. Yeah, I just don't see them doing it, honestly. But I guess, you know, as Gandalf says, there is always hope. If only a pity's hope or whatever he says. Now the Gondorians are going to be pursuing them with the Dunedain as well. Faramir's men have arrived. Looking to retake the city. With the infantry. So now the not the Haradrim, sorry, but the runic infantry are going to be pushed in. And trying to cause them issues. I mean, how many men do they have left? So they have 3 ranks right there, 2 there. So they have about 5 infantrymen left, 6, 7. They actually have an okay amount. They have a general unit over here as well. That I guess is being stuck out here because he doesn't want to be shot at. So, I mean, even though they don't really have a lot of men, they can start to throw in a lot more infantry, I guess. And just try and overwhelm their ranks. It definitely could be the case. That could be successful. The assault is continuing, but at no avail. Like, I just don't see them breaking through. They're going to be able to clear this up, but just more infantry are being brought up to the fight. The Fountain Guard are being ordered to fight. And I think when you see the Fountain Guard coming out to fight, you know your day is numbered. So they're going to be pushing out of the gatehouse. And now coming down the ramp as well to repel the assault. They've done a pretty good job though at this position. They've managed to cut down the majority of the infantry here. Some pretty nice kills as well. Almost 500 kills on these Aphelion Rangers. They were obviously able to completely exhaust their ammo. But yeah, that was 5. The archers have definitely done so much damage. I think we constantly see that in these battles as well. Just how much damage the archers do. So killing them is just so important. Whenever you get the chance to. And yeah, you just see this formation being formed up. I think it's basically been taken away from here and thrown up right there. They brought all their infantry inside the city right now. So they're going to be trying their best to break through. But yeah, I mean, I guess they're just going to go for one big last assault. A lot of archers have also been brought in from the second layer. But this assault was just, yeah, cut down at the inner layer and on Pelennor Fields. I wouldn't be surprised as well if we just saw like a complete sally out. The entire army being pushed out would not be too surprising. They're even bringing out archers as well to help, you know, kind of just force the enemy. Here they come for one last charge. The men of Gondor are looking to reclaim their city and push back the forces of evil back to Osgiliath, where they can launch another assault. Ready to break them once and for all. So it's kind of hilarious to see the Gondorians actually pushing out here, giving it their last attempt. And the forces of Mordor are now the ones on the defensive. The lines are going to clash once more though on the inner layer. But Gondor are going to be able to, you know, repel this assault and keep the city. Also, I feel really sorry for these handful of archers. They've maybe found themselves in the wrong neighborhood. And that's going to open up the flank. And I imagine they're going to charge right here against the Blackroot Vale infantry. Once again, the lines are clashing. And you may notice as well, I mean, I guess it's a little bit too late to say this, but you may notice a few more animations. We're using the Road to Glory animation mod in there, so do keep an eye out in these battles. Pretty much all Rise of Mordor battles that are on the channel do use this mod, so whenever you watch a battle, just do keep an eye out for the animations, because there are some really cool ones in there. Gondor Spearmen forming up the wall. There is no retreat for either side right now, and the Fountain Guard are being brought up. Even when I don't think they're going to have to get their spears bloodied. This entire flank is crumbling as well. These Gondorians are just shifting around their formation. Spearmen are now being committed. I imagine the pikes, the Fountain Guard might have to get their spears a little bit bloodied, but out of the fact that they want to, rather than that they have to. So they're going to be thrown forward into the fray. And the last 2 reserve Uruk units are now being committed. I guess looking to stop this envelopment from happening on the general unit. The other general unit is going in. That's actually going to be a pretty effective charge into the side of the Gondorian sword infantry. But alas, I do not think it's going to be enough. They're just going to wait until, you know, one of these flanks break and another unit can come through. Also, these Gondor archers are doing a very good job at this side. Against Uruk front, I guess because they're just tired, so they're just, you know, not fighting as efficiently. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to get like a rout somewhere. And that's probably just going to end up causing a mass rout. I mean, especially once this left side breaks, they can then just pour forward. They have like 4 units here. And I think they can just immediately pour through. And it doesn't seem like Mordor have managed to get men here. And that might cause, yeah, that caused a chain rout right there. And that's going to just break everything. Yeah, we're going to see a big old chain rout here. Even though the last reserves are coming in to plug the gap, I just don't think it's going to be fast enough. Yeah, even the Fountain Guard are now pouring through the streets. It's always a glorious sight. And yeah, there you go. That is going to be the battle, ladies and gentlemen. The generals that have now broken. The infantry are pouring around the flanks, enveloping. Surprisingly as well, that these 2 units, or these 3 units, are still here. Their morale is very, very poor. And I think some Gondorians are simply just like kind of retrofitting around the formation. But yeah, there we go. The units are breaking. And the Gondorians are going to be, I guess, quite satisfyingly hold this formation, you know? They didn't ever lose the out. They lost the outer layer, but they swiftly retook it. So I think Gondor is going to be very happy with their defense. You can also see the damage as well that Rohan did right here. Pretty nice, you know, a lot of hundreds of kills. Considering these are smaller units, they did do pretty decently. The defenders as well, 400 kills on these guys. The archers doing considerable amounts of damage. Over here as well, we do have a nice cavalry charge right there. And again, the archers, 520 kills. That is just absolutely crazy. I definitely think the attackers needed maybe a little bit more money. Over on the attacking side as well, yeah, the Uruks, no one really racking up a lot of kills. You know, some decent kills on here. These guys taking the walls. These Uruks did pretty decently. And the Haradrim as well. Got to keep in mind that a lot of the Haradrim kills are going to be on the, or the Eastling kills, sorry, not the Haradrim. I've said that so many times this episode. I apologize. But yeah, they've got a lot of kills on these guys. And got to remember that a lot of the kills were on horses who maybe only have 40 men in their unit. So they definitely did do maybe a little bit better than it seems. So if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know if you want to see more of these Rise of Mordor custom map scenario battles. And I'll see you guys in the next one.